Bom dia from Portugal. So you haven't really seen a country so filled with motorbikes for head of population as here. I don't mean mopeds like you know, Vietnam of course, and Taiwan and many other places. I'm talking about motorbikes, and nice ones too. A whole stack of Kawasaki there, and three BMWs, two matching 1250s, black edition. A few of them more than down there actually. This is a family who've got these Kawasaki's here, and there's the girl has got that one. Actually, there's two girls in the family. The old man's got that one there, so it's obviously a family that loves the Kawasaki's. Anyway, that's not what I'm... Stop perving at motorbikes, Craig. That's the way down to that watering a hole that I showed before. So, yes, what I was going to speak about, welcome to the Red Pill Diaries, if I haven't said that already, was something I put together in my mind that I think is a possibility. Now, influences, so these things obviously matter. So one of the videos I'm going to link in here later on is a video by I think two Christian guys. I can't remember the name of the channel, but I'll link it anyway. And it's about, it says are demons parasites? Oh sorry, are parasites demons? And it got some prior thoughts jiggling, and also tied in with a few things that people like ClifHigh have been saying about some kind of space alien thing that he sees on the data when he looks into it. This is a guy who predicted the Trump shooting by within a couple of days. Over the years I've gone on and off him on his woo-woo stuff, but anyway, you know, he has been pretty well, I'm going to put the phone down here so it doesn't get fried by the sun. Unfortunate thing in this country, by the way, chemtrails everywhere, and you can find the towns over the mountains by where the chemtrails are. That's how precise they are. So unfortunately, just like Slovenia and that way, most of Europe basically, I think. Possibly not Hungary. Haven't spent enough time looking at the skies up there and taking note, but I did notice that some of them seemed to turn off when they went from Croatia and Slovenia into Hungary. So anyway, that's another beside the beside. So something that's got me on this thought is when I look at the leaders. So I just watched the Trump video, Elon Musk video the other day, and hopefully when I get into town I can get some shade here, because the phone just overheats. It's a Note. I couldn't help myself. I like the stylus. I didn't want to pay $1,000 for one of the latest Note Samsung 24s. I always buy used phones, and minty condition, but yeah, just like the old Notes, it looks like it's a battery bomb. Anyway, yes, so Elon Musk and Trump. Now, a very close friend of mine, we've both been following Elon Musk since the very start of his career, because we're both tech heads. I'm slightly older than him. I've been following since the Zip2 days, and I used to talk about him quite a lot. As a matter of fact, the guy Ghost User, whose content got deleted on my video about Mandela effects, but it's quite a long time ago, maybe 2019 or something like that, 2020. Anyway, that video, I was actually talking about Elon Musk in that video, but this was when I hadn't gone fully negative. I was still on the fence, so I was saying some things about him, like maybe he could be an operative. Other times I'm quoting him saying in that particular video that it's a 1 in a billion chance that we're not living in a simulation. Well, I just stop here for a little bit so I can talk in the shade for a little bit. So it was a video where I quoted that, and before me and my friend came to a head about it, and in my opinion he was kind of behaving as if he was a close personal friend of his and can vouch for him. I don't like that sort of stuff, but anyway. And I've seen the same thing happen with Jordan Peterson, with the same guy, but also with other people. And it's like, you don't know these people. Just always remember that. You don't know any of these famous people, especially people who are allowed to become so famous, because it really is a bar. It's just, with business, it's not the best business that wins, and I keep using the compact disc versus mini disc and the other scenario, what do you call it again? The VHS tape versus Betamax. The best design, the best solution does not win. The person who's allowed to win wins, right? And that may be, say, defeatist, and you know, people accuse me of a lot of things like that, like being a nihilist and those sort of things. Now, I'm a realist, and I just see it how it is. A guy who has not just come up with billion-dollar ideas, but I know the competitors weren't as good and made billions. So they're not just, oh no, you're delusional. No. They made money. They should have been picked up. For fuck's sakes, popcorn machines. So the Yamaha DT50. Yeah. And yeah, I think I'll continue on, so maybe I can find a road without so many motorbikes. Then the popcorn's ready. All right. So basically, if you look at people like Elon Musk now, if you are a real fan of his and a disciple, then just please put that aside at the moment. He's not your personal friend. You don't go around to his place for Christmas dinner. Please just shut up. Just shelve that thought. Don't shut up. Just shelve that thought, right? Now, if you saw the interview between him and Trump, do they look smart? Do they look intelligent? Both of them repeating their voice. Neither of them very eloquent. To be honest with you, bordering upon how bad Biden was in 2019-20. Of course, he's gone full late stage dementia since then, plus Parkinson's since then. But let's besides the point. Let's look at Janet Yellen. So the person who's really in control of the U.S. economy. Now, has there ever been such a dimwit? No, damn it. No, this will be the whole attack, the YouTube bloody thing again. You can't say anything, can you? Well, anyway, pretend it. I can't. I'm trying to even think of how I can mask it. How I can say how seemingly like a potato with Down syndrome she is. You know, because she really is. It's like, this is your greatest economic mind. Like in Scotland years ago, the guy, Alex Salmond, economist, me, and then a year later, Max Kaiser, try to get him into Bitcoin to defuse the Scottish pound situation, the currency lie that the UK was spreading. This would have torpedoed it straight away. I said, threaten, you don't have to do it, but threaten to put 10% of Scottish reserves into Bitcoin. It would plummet the pound. They would get so scared they would stop the currency lie in its tracks, even though they were ordered in court, Alistair Darling was, to stop using it. I'm digressing here, but he's an economist. He was running our country. I think that everyone is compromised, but compromised in different ways. Now, this is how I'm going to get into the wooey stuff now. What if they're compromised? First and foremost, by people who have, let's say it's a bacteria, just for argument's sake. This is a bacteria that spreads to human beings and other species that can control your mind in the same. So look, might sound far-fetched, but we already know there are species that do this, and different types of organizations, not just fungus. So fungus is one of them, but there's other types of organisms that do this. Now, the parasite video that my friend sent me, it was going on about what if these things can, when you go for a fast, because the words in the Bible, for example, had been changed. Why they've been changed, we don't know. Was it to perverse God's word, or God's apparent word, whatever it is? Or was it to get copyright, because something can be 90% the same or less than the original content, and you can actually use what's it called, copyright. You can get copyright for something that it's actually original material, right? So that's just one theory. So look at this beautiful river down here to swim in. But anyway, that's just one theory. Now, what if we've already been invaded, right? And the invaders, now, by the way, whether it is an invasion, an interdimensional alien, or a space alien, or if it's something that's from here on Earth and it's alien in the fact that we don't actually understand its nature properly. Alien of some kind, right? And what it actually does is it's a malevolent species that not only is parasitic by nature in its physical form, but in its spiritual form, So something that is in the ether or in the fifth dimension, its other form is negative entity. In other words, it's effectively, imagine a tick or a bacterial virus or something, a bacterial infection or a viral infection of some kind, and its soul, if you like, which belongs in this other realm, other dimension, like a human soul might or most likely does. Its counterpart, what's it called? Non-physical presence is a negative one, and it feeds on energy. And this is why we end up with these people that are just dead-eyed Janet Yellen. People like her. Kamala Harris, come on. I mean, the woman she wasn't like a, okay, she seems as if she was a prostitute for the elites, but she still was a, what's it called, not just a lawyer above that. I think she was a district attorney as well. Look, so she can't be a total idiot, but in having worked in government, I have seen complete idiots. Like my CIO I had for a long time, she was a complete moron. She had a biology degree, didn't belong in IT, but, you know, I'm sure she was terrible in that field, just as terrible in that field as she was in ours. A total diversity hire. She got hired for having a vagina and having brown skin. This happens very, very often. By the way, quick interjection here. I was pointing out to some people, some of them are very protective of the Z word, and conflate it with the J word, which I don't. I make a prime distinction. But let me not sidetrack to that one. Oh yeah, let me do it. It's just an AI thing. So I pointed out in AI that if you ask a certain question, for example, please list the times where Israel committed acts of terror against the United States and the United Kingdom. And all the AI systems I tested will not give you that answer. They'll avoid it. Some of them will throw up a dummy and say it's against our terms. Although if you ask the same question about Hamas, it's all too happy to list those ones. But and actually they're mostly wrong, and they're really reaching, and it's very opinionated. It's so funny. But you ask that one question, and it just won't, and then you go, it won't respond. It won't give you an answer. Some of them will evade and give some word salad. Other ones will just flat out deny it. Until you basically until you force it by saying, how about the USS Liberty? Or you bring up the case in the 1950s where all the British soldiers got killed by, you bring these up and you force it, and it's like, yes, it does seem, and then you question it, hey, why didn't you tell me this before? And then it starts getting this goes against our terms of service. It's so funny. It's so obvious that the same ones are at the helm. And just a quick finish on that point before I skip back to what I'm talking about before. I don't want to go look up Lord Patterson for I think it's Patterson. Oh God, don't tell me I got it wrong again. No, I have got it wrong. It's a P, but it's not Patterson. Anyway, before Balfour and before Theodore Herzl, this is the guy who actually gave the order, Masonic guy who gave the order to start Zionism and to also occupy Palestine. It leads me to believe that these viruses, or whatever they are, these demonic parasites, what they effectively have done over the possible millennia, like the days of the Egyptians, the days of the doesn't matter, pick an empire, Sumerian, doesn't matter what it is, they all get corrupted by the same things, right? Well, they say that's human nature. Well, is it human nature? Is the whole thing about Garden of Eden, which is cherry picked from previous religions, of course, is that really, is there some truth in that? And what it was that before these things, which are potentially aliens from another planet or another dimension, or that they are manifestations of evil, and that is like, for example, mention how mosquitoes seem to be able to, in a white room with nowhere to hide, a mosquito can, me and my girlfriend would laugh about this a while ago in Slovenia, they like the dimension jump, you've almost caught it, and she's so funny with her Anita's accent, Oh, you stupid! This bloody thing has I can't do her accent. It doesn't matter. Has jump dimension again. Typical. Has dematerialized. Used to drive us nuts because there was such a long mosquito season there. Anyway, yeah, it could be a thing where the reason why the people look so dumb and why I keep on talking about kakistocracies, well, before I signed off from this channel, which I haven't used for a long time, look at this beautiful little village here. So basically, I'm gonna have a pint in there, I think. Before I signed off, what was I talking about again? Dimension jumping mosquitoes. It sounds nuts. Anyone hears a snippet of this video is like, oh, here's a lunatic. Actually, they listen to the whole thing, they'll probably say here's a lunatic. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It probably is why, you know, when you look at people who have become magicians, and I've spoken about this one before as well, there's a theory out there that you basically sell your soul for the ability to get the jinn's help to make masterful illusions, right? God, the new Transalp, it's nice. Anyway, so it allows you to make masterful illusions, right? Oh, I should order one now. I'll just carry on the video. So what my theory is that basically this is all tied in, right? So these things are possibly, they probably, like us, they probably originate from another dimension, and then we are the 3D manifestation of their embodiment of what they are as a being, and their embodiment is something like a tick or a flea, maybe a whole series, maybe all the parasites that we have on the planet, including flies and anything that lives on crap, like a vulture or something. Maybe they're the embodiment of these negative entities. And I've just got to check my phone doesn't run out of batteries. No, those are looking fine, because it gets so hot it just chews through the batteries sometimes. Yeah, so that's my thought. What if the reason that everyone looks so dead-eyed and is so gormless, including, yes, Elon Musk and others are supposed to be smart. I mean, Donald Trump isn't getting much, like, it's not like he's declining like Biden did, but he was never the sharpest tool in the shed anyway. Look how I like the guy. And I predicted to other guys over in America when I was living over there that he would win against Republicans who laughed at me and said, no, he's a clown. And then those guys are now, you know, oh, he's the greatest guy ever now. But they weren't back then. They were like, oh no, Rubio's going to get in, oh, Ted Cruz is going to win. I'm like, no, Trump's going to win, and he's going to win because Bernie Sanders supporters who got screwed are also going to go for him. And that's what happened, because he was the most popular candidate. Anyway, and Hillary Clinton cheated that election, but she didn't cheat enough. Oh, damn it, no, I'm just kidding, only joking. I'm just kidding. That's a lie. Sorry, YouTube moderators. But if you look at the data, it does look pretty strange. That's all I'm saying, is it looks strange. The same kind of things where you get this on the graphs in about 5 states. Hey, check it yourself. Right, so that's my theory. I just hate the fact that they're going to remove it because of that. Because they will, because they're such horrible freaks sitting there. You know, that kind of blob kind of looking meme character. I don't know the name of it. He's got like, not the rage face for the normal guys. It's like, he looks kind of like comic book guy in a sketch. This is what I picture them all looking like. That making them really angry now. They're going to remove this video now. Hate speech. It's so horrible. It's so disgusting that we're living in this dystopia already. But I mean, of course I'm not. I mean, I'm just traveling. But there's whiffs of it all around. Anyway, that's what I think it is. It could just be simple fact is that some people are infected more than others. And those that are fully infected are not only able to be... Your bike sounds like shit. Those who are fully infected are like total puppets. They're like a meat puppet, right? And the dumber they look, I think that's the only sign, is how vacant they are. Getting back to the Trump-Elon Musk thing, they repeated themselves multiple times. These are billionaires. You know, these aren't dumb guys. Have you ever met a multi-millionaire before? I've met quite a few. Let me tell you, they're all sharp as a tack. I'm trying to think. I'm sure I've met one or two who aren't that smart, but are in some ways, but it still comes across in their voice. Like Alyssa's dad, like he's worth hundreds and probably well over 100, but maybe 200 million, I don't know. My ex-girlfriend. And now he still comes across as sharp, you know. He's still kind of red-pilled, even though he's a kind of system slave in some ways, and he you know, he's one of the Vietnam guys who doesn't say, hey, shit, I know that my country was wrong there and that we basically scummed them over and killed 3 million people for nothing. You know, he's not one of the guys that says that. They think they were in there for the right reason. Just insane. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I haven't met any who are dumb. And Elon Musk sometimes sounded fairly smart, mostly because of the way he goes like Rain Man. And that's the cover. Of course, that's the perfect cover. No, he's going to sound like that because he's on the spectrum, kind of Rain Man kind of thing. I'm like, nah, because that means that you have to just rely on being an ace coder, which I don't know if he is, and you know. Anyway, I won't go down that because I can't ratify that one, right? But from what I hear, you know, a lot of not just himself, but others like Gates weren't the best coders. They were good at bringing things together. But you know, as people who are, in the case of Gates, a sociopath, or in the case of Musk, possibly as well, to be honest with you, definitely Zuckerberg is. Where does this other ability that comes from that doesn't fit the spectrum? You see what I mean? And then when you see them, it's like they have absolutely no self-awareness. They're not aware. Like Zuckerberg, when he introduced Meta, was totally unaware, or he talked about smoking his meats. There's a guy who's totally unaware about the human psyche. So how does he get the kind of CIA level ability of psychology and business and that kind of stuff? I just don't believe it. I think these people are tools. But the only difference is, instead of thinking that tool is a tool of the CIA or some great force, maybe everything is co-opted the same way, and it is effectively an alien invasion. And what we're doing right now is, even when both sides get killed, they're feeding on the pain, like we've discussed before, but we didn't know who. Maybe this is the WHO. The WHO, the WHO. Well, maybe that's the WHO we're speaking of, is these things. It is the psyche. And here's another one. Imagine these things, just like a mycelium network is spoken about in Star Trek. Imagine the reason that these people like Janet Yellen are operating such a dumb level is because most of their mind power is getting taken up by this parasitic host. And the reason why they're so much smarter than us is they can, like Legion, I don't know, you see Red Dwarf, Legion, where it becomes part of every person that it occupies. So it creates like a Borg out of the collective mind that it cohabits. That could be why we can never get the better of these things, and why they seem so much smarter than everyone else. It could be a collective intelligence between these people that can communicate, and possibly explains a number of other things, from not just the ability to harness 5D jinn kind of abilities, supernatural abilities, but also the ability to know, like, we're thieves and scumbags. I used to have a thing years ago where I could tell what drug someone was on, whether it's heroin or crack or whatever, just by the way their pupil looked, the colour, the shape. It's weird because when people are on heroin, I called it farty eye, and their pupil had a kind of blobby look, like it wasn't perfectly round. And the people were always on smack. I always found out, yeah, there was a smack aid. Yeah, I could feel it from them, a horrible energy. This is why I don't trust RFK. You know, previous smack addict. No, not that I can talk because I've been on other things. But you know, I was always on top of them. I could always step away for months or years at a time and come back. But the addiction is a long-term thing. But I never went down that path, although I did have ecstasy tablets that had that in it. I know because it tasted that way. So it's just something I'm thinking of. Side thought here. I'm going to get back to this beautiful place. I wonder if there's any more closing thoughts about it. I wonder if I can drink that water there. I'm sure I can. It's really something to be thinking about this. I think it's a a potential answer as to what's actually going on and why we can't stop it and why people seem to change. It's not just like they change like people who are jabbed. You know, well, the Campbell thing I just spoke about before. It's just like it's like you've got amnesia, that you can't remember how you felt less than a year ago, and you're going back talking as if you can't remember anything. Beautiful scenery there. Yeah, like you can't remember anything. It's almost like you don't know people as well when they're in your own life, and they've been like my friends Nicola and Paul are living in Egypt. She's a gynecologist, whatever. Just how much they changed, and also tried to put me against a good friend of mine who's on the similar path than I am. So she actually lives. That girl Carolina, who I just spoke about, who they tried to set me against. She's just bought with a few friends a place in this district. Another shaman woman who I know lives about half an hour south from here. So her and her husband moved out here. He's Portuguese, she's South African. So it does seem like a good spot to be. Anyway, and this is the town Koja, which is near where she is. But she's still in the UK and can't get out here till I think next month. So I don't know if I'll still be here by then. Anyway, yeah. Try that one for size. Just think about it. Try tie it into your life and think of things you've seen in your own life, or things that you've witnessed, you know, in the extremities of it, or in the public world of people who just seem to have changed, or people that always seem to be too dumb for the position that they were in, and diversity hire doesn't explain it away. You know, it's too thick for that. Or that we're in very high paying jobs, or jobs that needed someone who was a mastermind to do what they did in their former life. Now look, I'm not as sharp as I once was, I know that, but I haven't lost it all. You know, I haven't. I'm not. You wouldn't have my, because I go back and look at things that I wrote when I was in my early 20s and stuff in business. And I'm like, damn, that's quite sharp. Where did my vocabulary go? Well, I know where it went, but no, I'm not a complete vegetable compared to what I used to be. You know what I mean? And I think some of these people are, and that's one of the things that kind of explains it. All right, hope that's thought-provoking for you. Yeah, 2 videos, haven't uploaded for years. By the way, I unplugged the other channel and deleted the videos because I had some kind of mad guy who looked like he was the sort of guy who would try dox you and just just a vigilante bandit on one of my other Twitter channels, which related to the other YouTube channel. So I thought, for what it's worth, I didn't get off to a good start in that channel anyway. Although, so I deleted all those videos in the Amazon and stuff, and in Panama and everything. Unfortunately, there's some good ones in there, but it doesn't matter. One's still on there. It's the musica guy for the ayahuasca retreat over that one song. Other than that, I'm just going to see if I can upload to this channel. It's been I don't know, I think a year since the last strike. Oh no, they did one, yeah, when I was traveling about a year ago, they did a strike in a really old video. So I don't know how many I do have left. I've always worried about this channel gets taken down, but I have checked when I delete videos on here that they do still exist on, I think it's BitTube and Odyssey. However long they last, I don't even know if BitTube still exists anymore. All right, cool. I'm going to explore this place and have a croissant. No, I'm going to have a beer. Yeah. And then I'm going to use this channel thing up the road here, because that campsite's got a crap internet connection and it's slow as hell. This one up here was super fast in the gigabit speed, so I'm just going to go up there to upload these 3 videos. Yeah, cool.